Excuse me, wrong scene. Hello everybody, welcome. Super excited for this event. Hello, I hope everybody's doing well. Guess we'll be playing Rupture today in honor of my home screen meta companion, Faust. I have some mint tea here. So the first thing I did was I had some of those special tickets, the like season 5, you know what those are. Those tickets. So I spent those because I had 2, and I got Marcel, which is good because I don't have him, and we do need him for Rupture. And although he wasn't of the choices still left, thank you, Faust. Wasn't my favorite. Because I had a whole bunch of Marceau shards, but that's okay. And then I spent the other one and got Marceau again. But finally got the Sinclair. I guess I don't think I'll be pulling any time for the rest of the season, so I guess I'm sharding Fang on Hong Lu at some point. But I do have shards for him. And now I don't normally do this, but we get tickets from this. I'm really excited for this event, so let's throw some tickets, and I did get her. So we'll be running with Rupture, I guess. I haven't... one thing I want to do before we start is take a peek at their skills, because I'm not super, so I know where the count is. Hi, Pills, thank you, no worries. I want everybody to enjoy it on their own first. Yeah, let's go have a good time. Mainly, y'all wondering where you're... Look for Rupture at simplest speed. Inflict +2 Rupture count. This is Poise. That's 3. I have not played Rupture very much at all recently. Well, of course, there's Mirror Dungeon, but that's basically a whole different ball game. Here we have the focused attack thing, where we want it all on the same slot. Focus attack, every Rupture, no Rupture count here, but that's okay. And anything... Power... Voice is always good. One step ahead. Let's take a look, and I also want to look at Otis before we start. Do you think we'll get a full hair rabbit team at some point? So what I got from the people that know more about Chinese than I do, I think the term for hair used here refers to the zodiac. So I feel like, which I like, so I feel like we're more likely to get maybe more of the zodiac animals, the different kind of, I guess the different branches. I think we'll want to keep Red Eyes here for the bind, because she's all speed. If this unit's speed is faster than targets, I think more coin power +1. Okay, only 4. Rupture count. Clash win is count, so this is neutral. Going into on hit. I assume we keep the reuse. Also, he has the Rupture count. Hi, Smoky Meadows. Hello, everybody. Speed difference times Rupture potency on the attack. 50 max 50%. I'm super excited to try her out. We have coin power, 4+ Rupture coin power, Clash win, inflict Rupture count. 10+ speed, but we have 2 haste. And what is your... Okay, 4 to 7, not too bad. Again, it's speed, not like... So yeah, I think we'll definitely want Red Ice here for the bind. What is your third spin? 3 bind. And is that... This is just an attack late one? Okay. Hi, Simon. Welcome. Coin power, Rupture count. Assuming we're clashing, this is neutral. I love the, even just looking at them, the design idea behind them, where I think Otis wants to do unopposed, while Yoshi wants to clash. unopposed is sort of the idea of wanting to do unopposed attacks. I thought would really suit Shi association as opposed to like the low HP thing, because they're meant to be assassins, right? Target is 15 plus rupture. Okay. 1 power based on speed difference. Strider mouse. This is gain 5 haste next turn, reduced by 1 at turn end. 2 rupture count is 3 coins. For clash win. Okay, so we're at least neutral here again. Like death right haste, inflict rupture, 30% more damage, inflict 3 rupture. 10 plus speed reuse, coin once per skill. Okay, then we're going negative if we have to reuse. Death right haste, base stack 3. I need to see how this works. When getting rupture triggered by getting hit by an attack skill from a target with 10 plus speed. Okay. Yes, only if we have enough speed can we activate this. Lose 1 stack and gain +1 rupture count. At 0 stack, take bloody damage equal to rupture potency on self, then this effect expires. Cannot gain additional stacks, so this effect is already active. And clashable counter gets us the Strider. And is neutral. I feel like we're going to be wanting to do this more often than not. And it's not on Clash Win. Oh, Strider unleashed it. 5% more damage, 5% more damage. There! I'm so curious what they're gonna do with all this, with the rupture. We were talking a bit about it on my other stream. I'm very interested. Oh. Oh, I like the look of these banners. Let's take a look at Otis. I assume people will have her by tomorrow when I'll do the rest of the stream. If not, maybe I can do some mirror dungeons before stream as well. So no count here. But we had to have the defense. So this one is rupture neutral. Three or more coin power +1. Oh no, unopposed attack rupture count. So interesting. And we're positive if we're doing unopposed attack. Considerate Butcher Blade. 15 plus rupture, coin power +1. Strider Mao. Flaked rupture, 3 coins. It's still -1, but that's okay. Interesting. We have that going on. I didn't check. Do we have anything? Okay. Has this deal 5% more damage. Support when ally with fastest speed. When attacking targets with rupture, deal 10% more damage. Gain 1 haste next turn. And you are 4 to 7. Okay. I like this track. Let's take a peek at our main page. Oh, I like these. Let's see. Hong Lu. I always love looking at the stage. I'm excited. Happy New Year. I don't think it will happen this one. I said in another stream, if there's one thing I want, I really hope we get to meet a character from... Oh, wow. Oh. Really want to meet a character from Kanto 8. Oh, yeah, I'm at book 5 for this translation I'm at for Dream of the Red Chamber. So, like, chapter 101 or 102 out of 120, I think. So I hope we get to meet somebody from it. And I don't think it will happen here, but there's a certain character if they do show up, I want to be introduced in the same way that they're introduced in the book. That's all I'll say. Let's jump in. Hi, Merso. Dante, any idea where that leftover cake from yesterday went? No idea. I mean, why would I know? I can't even eat. Darn. Did Donkey already get her paws on them? Rhodia rubbed her tired eyes, muttered something about how we should have partied in her room instead, and stumbled to the back door. The New Year's came swiftly to the inhabitants of the bus after the various incidents at the LCE. The sinners all came from different backgrounds and parts of the city, but annual celebration for New Year seemed to be a thread that connected their cultures together. They began floating the idea of a New Year's party and... Excellent. Then permit me the honor of hosting this banquet. With her usual overdramatic boast, coupled with the familiar twinkle in her eyes, Don Quixote declared that there would indeed be a New Year's party, and thus it was decided. Actually, in Dream of the Red Chamber, there are some big New Year's parties that happen. Again, after all the hell we went through with the back door and whatnot for the out-of-season Christmas celebration. Yet, I must insist, for 'twas but an effort to decorate the bust, the intent... For 'twas but an effort to decorate the bust, the intent quite divorced from the act of celebration. Don Quixote glanced at Sinclair, sheepishly scratching the back of her head. Oh, don't worry about me, really. Well, 'tis true that mine actions have brought thee quite the distress, unintentionally I might add. Thus I ask thee, wouldst thou not agree that a communal event to mark the occasion might freshen both our spirits and bodies? Can't even begin to imagine her amnesiac self taking even the moment to give a darn about how Sinclair might take it, but I guess with memory came tact. You know, it's our first New Year's together. It sure is an occasion for celebration, huh? Gotta hear that bell go ding to really mark the transition to a new year, right? It seems that we shall be welcoming the first light of the new year in company of one another. This is indeed a cause for celebration. A bowl of noodles before the last night of the year fades. Classic. Ooh, that's bubbling enthusiasm from you warmeth mine own heart. Forsooth, the grandiosity of this banquet shall be one for the books. Fireworks most brilliant, enough delicacies to... Karen, when's our next stop? Miffy will be running non-stop for 3 days at least. Only dum-dums stop on a fast road. So she says. Vigilius muttered with his usual sardonic edge, one fist under his chin. Bye! For next year's celebration, the banquet shall be prepared ere the promised hour. Don Quixote's idea of a grand banquet depressingly fizzled into nothingness, but... Rhodia brought out the cakes and cookies she'd stashed in her room so we could at least hold a small celebration for the New Year's together. This is when I'd bring out the Lulu Heath identity I want. After that, we all stayed up together, watched the New Year's first sunrise briefly paint the city in gold, then retired to sleep. Oh wow! Oh, so this is what we called a mega corporation. When everyone woke up, rubbing their tired eyes, the world outside the bus had completely transformed. It was a behemoth of a structure, bizarre in its presence, and its walls seemingly made of gargantuan steel plates. Oh yeah, this is the walled city. Exactly. H Corp? The sinners began to voice their surprise, appropriately so, as what came into view was different from any of the nests we'd passed by on our journey thus far. Is that massive structure all one building? The whole thing's a nest. And where the hell's the Backstreets? It's big enough to cover H Corp's territory and then some. Well, there he goes again, asking silly questions without ever taking a peep at the guidebook. That's not the nest. That huge box you see over there, that's District 8. They call it Hongyuan, the vast garden here at H Corp. Oh, okay. So, vast garden. I wonder, does vast? Okay. In Dream of the Red Chamber, I hope it's okay. I'm just gonna give commentary like this. There's a very important location in it that gets translated as Prospect Garden or Grandview Garden, I think is the more literal translation, but the one I used Prospect Garden. Or sometimes just the garden. The nest lies within the center of the structure and the back streets without. So they squeeze the entire population of this district in there? Do they just not get a ray of sunlight all year round? Well, at least they won't have to worry about the rain. Pretty! A veil will be me a sight as well. Oh, she's too short. As the sinners began to gather one by one at the other side of the bus, stirred awake from their late night's rest, I felt my gaze drawn toward Honglu. Look for signs of concern or distress on his face, worried. It wasn't exactly something unique to Honglu, but the stories about his past home life we've heard throughout the year, whenever he felt like sharing them, were all consistently and terribly depressing. Not such a bad place once you actually try living here for a while. But his lips, ever so slightly curled upward into a kindly and relaxed smile, are making the same expression as ever. An expression that hasn't changed at all since our first meeting. Maybe it's just a cultural difference, kinda like how Honglu can be so nonchalant about things that should give most people pause. But actually no, I'm not helping anyone or anything by entertaining these thoughts. My job at this moment is to keep a close eye on Honglu, more so than usual. And if the time comes for me to help him, as the manager, I'll give it my all. I don't like this as foreshadowing. Besides... What's that noise? Whoa, this thing's even bigger up close. Verily, I carry no recollection of a structure so grand, even in past adventures of mine. If my efforts aren't enough, I know I can trust the sinners to lend me a hand. Hey, let me see too. I collected my thoughts and approached the sinners, who are flattened up against the glass window to get a good view. Oh, rubbing your face against the glass window. I was like, yeah, what is that? What is that squeak? Oh wow, you can really... Okay, already into a fight. We have the duel. Is that Pilot? Is that Pilot there? Oh, just... Is it really just gonna be a... Okay, no fixed member needed. I have to think. I don't suppose... I mean, I doubt it, but... Yeah, not this fast. I do not have somebody with, like... a level 57 Heathcliff. Somewhere in here. I can just see if I can find for a moment as we get a feel for how we want to do this. If not, where are you? I found you before. There we go. Oh, you have asymmetrical inertia. I barely even know what this does. I mean, besides tremor, obviously. I wonder if Greg's gonna get this in the future. Want you... I mean... Oh yeah, okay. Hi Mist. Hi Kidia. Hi Numbus. Hi Crowned Orion. Welcome. Self-tremor with no self-tremor ID. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, if this is just like regular battle, we're not building up much rupture anyway.
현장에서 직접 뵙죠.
Once we left the bus. Oh, I want to. I thought that was a smiley face, but I think that's a bowl and chopsticks. I just want to absorb. Oh man. Can't believe we have to get off the bus here. We have to make a formal complaint against H Corp. What the hell were they thinking doing shoddy construction work at the entrance of the highway that leads into the nest? I mean, yeah, it is annoying driving with bad construction work. Many causes there may be to such construction projects, yet perhaps an early warning sign error approach to the site would be a sensible. You were an architect, you'd know. Were it not for young Karen's most valiant drifting. I shudder to even imagine the terrible possibilities. It would have been a most awful end to an adventure. That's how my story ends. No surprise that the sinners all had a piece of their mind to speak. As we drove up to the entryway, we unexpectedly came across a mess of badly put together steel plates blocking our path in the middle of the road. Karen quickly spun the bus around, which meant that everyone ended up being thrown about like rag dolls. Good thing there was another road off the highway that leads into the city, right? I bet Karen would have tried to reverse gear all the way back to the last interchange. But looks like we'll be going through all these winding alleyways to get to the nest. Yeah, I'd imagine a place like this, with like no real open air, even probably the worst place to encounter sweepers. It's so dark in here. We were greeted by a dark street upon disembarking from the bus, illuminated only by faint strands of light. It was immediately obvious that we found ourselves in the back streets of H Corp. Looked pretty impressive from the outside, but no different from the other back streets inside, huh? Yep, it's a familiar sight. Gotta say it's getting real old. I asked thee, is the nest of this district shrouded in such darkness as well? No, these particular sites are limited to the back streets of District 8. The back streets of this district weren't very different from the other ones we'd visited in the past. People hurrying through the streets as though they were being chased by something. People scowling and glaring at the ground with some sickness or discomfort. Scenes all too common in every corner of the city. There was one thing about this place that stood out from the other districts, however. They're kind of reminding me of the former G Corp soldiers back in District 4. What do you mean? You mean those fellas? Do they all have... Yeah. The growths on their flesh appeared to be too organic to be prosthetics. Some of them had odd protrusions or nodules bulging from their skin as well. Oh, manager bud. Look, they haven't mutated in the same pattern, like into an insectoid form, for example. So they don't all get something cute like bunny tails? Well, I guess I should commend you for not looking at them through a biased lens. You're observing the aftermath of District 8's distinctive method of treatment. Oh, so this is where the rumors about that bluish healing ointment came from, huh? Apparently they can cure any flesh wound after just one night dressed in bandages. It seems that certain misconceptions must be addressed. They are the variations of H Corp's singularity, the bolus. Okay, one thing that pops up in Dream of the Red Chamber is I mean, there's characters that are often sick, and there's quite a few times when doctors are summoned, different sorts of doctors. We get to meet a few, are summoned to give medicine. It's not like a main plot point necessarily, but it does happen quite a bit. The bolus? She's likely referring to medicines brewed and kneaded into ball-shaped pills. Correct. H Corp, or the Hongyuan Bioengineering, mainly manufactures boluses that contain essences of treatment. I wonder if they're like forced to have this kind of thing instead of like H Corp's ampules. The boluses may be taken orally, ground into water into a paste, and applied directly to the affected area, or dissolved in water, soaked into bandages, and wrapped around the necessary area for treatment. I guess the rumors transform as they travel. Oh, I see. I was just thinking about how they do things back at the H Corp. The focus of H Corp's technology is the reversal or recovery of one's conditions. Returning to the original state is the key word in their treatment. It is no rare sight to find unique techniques and technology developed independently by the inhabitants of the backstreets of District 8 using the manufactured boluses. The treatments are not individually customized for each patient. Instead, their focus is on selecting the appropriate technique from a myriad of choices to address the deficiencies in their statuses. Yeah, this does feel a bit like the way there's a lot of like specific medicines based on conditions, obviously. Perhaps one could choose the words transformation or evolution as a more illustrative descriptor for their method of treatment. So that's what counts as treated? The crowd Sinclair was pointing at certainly appeared unhurt, as none of them were bleeding or walking with a limp, but many of them appeared dazed, staring blankly at nothing, or scratching absent-mindedly at their mutilated parts. They must be the regulars. Unexpectedly, we found our answer not from Faust, not from Merceau, but from Honglu. The regulars? Yes, I've heard of them as a child. People who've grown too accustomed to visiting the clinics in search of their mystical treatments. The regulars might appear more intimidating than most people at first glance, but apparently all the side effects they've been stacking changes them in strange ways. It's highly likely that interoperation conflicts or issues will arise when applying highly disparate treatment methods to a single body. At least it's a cheaper alternative for people who didn't sign up for the life insurance. I want to know. Tell me, teach me. You speak of life insurance? Yes, life insurance. There's a special insurance options to bring the client back to life upon the event of their death. So, the irony isn't lost on me, but I thought resurrecting people was one of the head's taboos. The head does not consider the revival via life insurance to be a violation of their non-resurrection taboo. How? It is likely that, on a technical level, this revival is actually categorized as brain resuscitation as opposed to a full resurrection. Degradations of its functions considered, of course. Okay. That does make sense. Another fatal downside to this technology is that, unlike the manager's clock winding, the subject cannot be brought back to life if their brain is destroyed. Also, there's a risk of significant losses in the process of information transference. This is all really interesting. I mean, after what happened with the Warp Train event, I'm like, I have no idea what to expect. So I'm taking it all in. Losses, huh? Maybe some of their mutations could be more than just the side effects of these treatments. Maybe, but I heard it takes more than 1 or 2 revivals to change that much. And since apparently people in the backstreets could never even dream of paying consistent insurance renewal rates, so After all, who would sign up for insurance if using its services could reduce them to such pitiful states? Yeah, they appear pathetic and pitiful to you guys, don't they? You'll soon be in the same boat as them, so save some pity for yourself. Identify yourself. The stranger's voice cut through our discussion like a foreign instrument. We turned around to find a large group of people who were clearly up to no good. You must be the young master of that high and mighty Zhao family, eh? I can tell just by looking at your pretty face. Your friends, Honglu? No. I haven't had much of a chance to get acquainted with people from the Backstreet, so... Nope, never met them before. Of course you haven't. Too busy living large, playing gods in a whole different world from us plebs, huh? Not that it matters. We're just here to take the thing you brought here. Sorry. We're just here to take the thing you brought here for submission to the family hierarch evaluation. The what evaluation? Okay, there's clearly been a misunderstanding. There's quite a lot of them. We're not off to a great start here, huh? Man. Actually, no. It'd be a violation of our office's core values to jump them like we're some common thugs. I, Shan San, third son of the Triax office, challenged Zhao Baiyu of the Zhao family to a duel. Triax offices. How many axes? Our wager will be that the winner can take anything they want from the loser. Wait, what do you mean a duel? A duel? We need the Yu-Gi-Oh theme here. I've heard tale that duels of the honorable fixtures of the Sank Association Eastern Branch announced their intentions to duel by stating their affiliation and name instead of casting their gauntlets. And the pamphlet that young Ishmael had presented before me earlier presented the truth that the Triax office is indeed an office of the East. Though they are indeed of a lesser quality, 'tis a true, genuine, accurate declaration of a duel that we behold. So, it's just a fancy way of saying 1v1 me, let's go, innit? I mean, this guy doesn't look too tough. What do you think, Faust? Agreed. This individual does not seem to possess any particularly exceptional skill that may pose difficulties for Honglu. Think it's gonna be okay. I'll be back in a minute, Dante. You sure this is okay? I don't think you're going to lose against him, but, you know, just in case. No worries. I have some childhood experience with duels myself. I've done about 10 of them, I think. Ha! So the rich boy's dabbled in some duels, has he? I think you misunderstand. I meant to say that I've done about 10 of them a day. Oh, but grandmother sometimes let me skip them, so it might have been slightly fewer than that on some days. Baoyu, is a particular favorite of Grandma Dia. What? Honglu Limbus Company. No. I value the Zhao family, except this duel. Honglu stepped forward confidently as the opponent was processing what he had just heard. For a moment, Honglu stood there in a stance that did not express even a hint of aggression, before curiously cocking his head to the side. Sorry, are we waiting for something? Oh, so I always let the opponent get the first 2 moves in duels. Please, don't hesitate. Let me, you little... Your cocky pride shall be your downfall. The man who introduced himself as Shan San leaped toward Honglu. Then, after about a minute... I like this guy. What? He only had 1 axe. Oh. Hello. How is this happening? Unlike Shan San, who was throwing punches and swings with boiling hot passion, Honglu was effortlessly gliding between his opponent's strikes like he was out on a picnic. As though this was but a leisurely stroll through a garden. Whenever Shan San threw a powerful punch, Honglu redirected it to the side with ease, the fist only grazing his clothes. We were mesmerized by the feathery light movements of his hands and feet that effortlessly glided through the air, until, after one blink and you'll miss it moment, we realized that Shan San was already face down on the ground, defeated. Oh! Young Honglu, hast thou been concealing thy full power in our presence? Oh no, I wouldn't say that. I always put my all into every fight. He is in identities most of the time, presumably. Yet to defeat this foe so soundly, to dance with such grace between his strikes, was as though that were dueling someone whose skill may only measure against a child's. Most of our fights happen in environments with a lot of variables, and we usually fight against enemies with all kinds of unexpected weapons and powers. You read him. Or you read him, probably. Already familiar with that fool's moves. Oh, yes. One of my Bilu instructors used similar techniques as this gentleman here. Practice makes perfect, and perfection makes an expert, right? Alright, but I'm not sure if that's entirely relevant here. Still okay? Well, anyways, looks to me like you sound like kicked your behind in this duel. Let us through, why don't you? And preferably not do the thing I think you're about to do. This duel wasn't overseen by a notary office anyway, and our employer's not gonna let this failure slide if we just leave. Don't just sit there. Jump them! Pathetic. I can kind of see how we're becoming experts at getting jumped. With the bitter cry of the defeated, his gang rushed towards us. I mean, I want to know what he wanted. I was like, where's Blood Feast? Right, I always forget it's from the Merkala. This is good. One sec, I'm just getting a drink, but let's take a peek. Awkward, deceitful, awkward, deceitful. And... okay, weak to slash. There's this pierce. We have a mix of that. Let's see. Normal to everything. Unmannerly attack. Gain haste. Bleed. Bleed for the Blood Feast. Tendon Slice. If this unit speed is faster than the target's coin power +1. If the target has 3+ speed, base power +1. So it's bleed. Messy attack. At 7+ speed, coin power +1. Target is 4+ speed, coin power +1. Deal more damage based on the clash count. Haven't seen that in a while. I guess that makes sense for sort of duel themed unit. Inflict +3 bleed count. Bleed, bleed, guard. Gain 3 shield for every type of negative effect. Clash win haste. Okay. Agitated. Okay. I don't think we're gonna jump on getting that resonance. We're okay. Again, let me just remember. Okay.
깔끔하게.
Oh, look at her! All over the place. No, we want you clashing! Are you clashing? Know it!
깔끔하게.
Unopposed. Look at her! I can't follow her. Neutral. And what's here actually? Oh yeah, gloom. Okay. Hey, nice job. Yeah, Strider Mao. Honestly, I think we're unopposed. Actually, what low 45, okay. Let's... Thank you for this. Hey, not very difficult, but only 45. This really isn't a great start, fellas. Never easy, is it? Hey, at least we got a nice warm-up. It wasn't all bad. I don't know, this seems more serious than our usual street brawls. Ishmael's right. They weren't your everyday thugs who pick fights with random people for no good reason. I really want to know what they wanted to take. They were contracted by someone to specifically target and eliminate Honglu. I guess just his life? And given how open they were about their intent, calling it a contract, it doesn't seem like whoever gave the contract was exactly going for subtlety. Then, maybe this is what Jashi-san was talking about back when she mentioned surviving as heirs. Whoever's behind this must have a bone to pick with Honglu. Indeed, it seems that we must expect more skirmishes like this going forward. Alas, was this trial not readily overcome? Not the point. Think on it a little more. Seems like they're assuming that Honglu's brought something here in order to participate in that family hierarch evaluation. Well, they're... Oh, I guess that makes sense. The test to become the head of the family. In Dream of the Red Chamber, a lot of... I mean, from the very beginning, Balyu is expected to be studying for exams. Then there's no reason to assume we've seen the last of them. They're going to try to take out the competition. Highly accurate assessment of the situation by the executive manager. I expected no less from someone of your genius. Going for the classics of brown-nosing today, Otis. Since when was it brown-nosing to compliment a job well done? Do not expect... Oh, hello. Didn't know you were here. Listening conversation is most riveting, but I prefer some silence while we wait. Seems that the company foresaw such difficulties. They sent you a support team to help handle this issue. We heard voices coming from behind us, from where Virgilius pointed. You guys still haven't learned how to stick to the plan, have you? Code. Come on. It really threw me off when I was told to meet you in some Backstreet's location away from our agreed rendezvous point. A familiar voice, a voice we could not forget. Yay! She lives! I mean, we knew she lives. Oh, so it definitely was Pilot. Been a while, everyone. Hi, I'm here too. I couldn't quite tell from... I mean, I was thinking about it, but I couldn't quite tell from the silhouette. We turned around to follow where the voice was coming from, and recognized the two people we've been hoping to see again.
좋아. 생동감이 살아있는 좋은 공간이 됐고
Hello.
다음 먹잇감도 이런 식이었으면 좋겠어.
I mean, it wasn't difficult, but that's a little bit of a jump. I couldn't even tell what she was doing. Well, she was first. A guide. Okay, yeah, that's what I was confused. She's holding the, like... Was she holding? I was confused because I just saw, like, what looked like a little baton to me. I couldn't quite tell. The guide. Sod? And hey, pilot, right? What's wrong? It's like you're all looking at a ghost. Pilot, didn't you tell me that you shared my news with them the last time? I did. I sure did, ma'am. Oh, yeah, he did. The sinners each recovered from the initial shock of seeing them again. And soon their faces began to bloom with relieved smiles. Well, good to see that things haven't changed much around here. God, we're so glad to see you're okay. TikTok to you too. Good to see your gears are turning just fine. You're so good. God smiled with a familiar grin. Did not seem to have changed much since the last time we met, save for a few minor differences. Her outfit and her badge, for example. Lest I recall, you were promoted, yes? Allow me to congratulate you. Yeah. For the hints of melancholy hanging from her smile and flickering in her eyes. Hey. I'm merely congratulating her on her promotion and offering a recognition of her excellent accomplishments. I do not see what your problem is here. We all know the meaning that promotion carries. Indeed, and it is very profound. After all, what meaning is there to a promotion attained without spilling some blood? Come on. A real piece of work. Let me ask you something then. If everyone behaves like you do around here, tiptoeing around the facts, keeping it hush-hush about what happened, where's she going to get the bare minimum of the recognition and the consolation she deserves? Wasn't it Otis that killed Effie even? Hush-hush would have been nice. I even overheard some of them whisper that I let my partner die just so I can snag a promotion. Yeah, yep. So in that regard, I appreciate that, Otis. Or like, If we're being technical, I did die, except my brain was intact. Not even H Corp's regenerative ampules could have revived me if it wasn't. Then did Effie also? Apparently, they went right for Effie's head when they stabbed him with a prosthetic. According to the coroner's autopsy. H Corp ampules, life insurance. Neither of them can revive someone with a damaged brain. Oh. It is what it is. Anyways, let's not dwell on that depressing stuff. We're here for work, so let's get work done. Let's talk about work, okay? Pilot, let's change the subject. Changing the subject. The subject is being changed. Yes, ma'am. Well, let's see here. Coincidentally, I happened to make friends with a feller who has ties to the Zhao family, so I brought him over. Hey, is that everything? Yes, sir. Briefing over. Just as everyone was reeling in stunned silence at the least informative, least helpful briefing we ever had, the displeasure of sitting through. Ishmael was the first to catch herself. She looked up at Sod. Sod, can we rely on you for some elaboration here? The briefing was a good demonstration of the necessity of educating the 5 W's and 1 H principle. Looks like we'll have a lot to discuss once we get back, Pilot. Just got the shadow. Did I do something wrong? Shh, Pilot buddy, just stop. You're digging yourself a deeper hole with every word. Gregor quickly leaned in to warn Pilot, but it was likely too late. A nigh unnoticeable crease had already formed between Sod's brows. Prior to commencing this high-priority operation, it was necessary for us to find individuals with connections to H Corp. So we, as the preliminary observation unit, were put to the task, and we managed to establish a connection with an individual. Oh, someone from my family? No, we tried, but your family proved to be rather difficult, a difficult nut to crack. However, as we were wasting our precious time with all our leads, Pilot pursued an unconventional method to establish this connection. Who is it? I really didn't hold back on compliments then, and this is how you... A collaborator is a former employee of the Jaw family. After leaving the family, he now runs a lodging business. Then it is likely that he is far removed from the family politics. Less motivation for him to attack us due to conflicting interest. Yes, and according to Pilot's report, he still regards the Zhao family positively. How can I not, considering the blessings they have given me? An unfamiliar voice butted into the conversation, as though to continue Sod's explanation. Not sure I know you. I humbly present myself before the fellowship of young Master Baoyu. Please, call me Qing Tao. Okay, actually, let me check something. Because one thing that I've been curious about... Because what my copy does is it does translate some of the names of servants particularly. So if you're like one of the pages, I might not actually recognize your name. Not seeing something jumping out at me quickly. One more thing to try. But like, something like that might not have... They're on page... Okay, you're not like... You're not that... Okay, not popping up on the wiki either. Okay. He greeted us in a most polite fashion before bringing his hands together in an odd motion. I'll talk more about the translation in a sec. Oh, is this how people greet each other here? Yep, it's called the I don't want to get this wrong. Oh, let me, I don't want to get this wrong.
Baoquan.
Baoquan? Okay. Knights greet one another by shaking their hands for the self-same purpose. Forsooth, thou art indeed one possessed of chivalrous spirit. Indeed, much do I worry about the qualities of people young master has surrounded himself with, but I see that he is in company of those wise in ways of the West. I prostrate myself before the vast breadth of your knowledge. What grand generosity it is to open ajar the waterways of wisdom to quench my barren lands. Something feels familiar about this. Nah, she's been getting less and less verbose with the bootlicking these days. Not like this guy for sure. That's true, he's kind of like, how should I put this? A bit much. What are you guys talking about? Communicating only by the sound of a ticking clock. This is something I had already known ahead of time, yet. What a most curious exchange to behold in person. brief this journey may be, yet I shall find myself thoroughly entertained in its entirety. Haha! Maybe it's a subtle sprinkle of disrespect that reminds you of the usual flavor. Wait, is this about me? You dare. Him. Was all that boot licking she did supposed to be a source of pride for her or something? Lotus shook her head with clear distaste and strode toward me. You're nothing like executive manager. Never have I once said such empty flattery in your presence, filled with nothing but hot air and superlatives. I'll leave the guidance of these back streets to him. Well, it looks like this is where... God fell silent, her eyes lingering on Virgilius, who stood somewhat apart from the rest of us. So I finally get to meet the Red Gaze in the flesh. I've been looking forward to this day for a long time. Effie would have loved to be here. Wait, what do you... I thought you were from the orphanage. Manager? Virgilius seemed to sense her lingering gaze and walked toward us after nodding slightly in her direction. Manager sawed. Let's not make this any longer than it has to be. I'm not happy to be helping you with your businesses. I'd much rather put this behind me as soon as possible. Oh please, it's our historic first collaborative operation, isn't it? Can't you spare a little more time with us? People assume that, but I don't think it's ever proven. That's true. Or maybe she's like, she's not, this is meant to be kept under wraps, so she's making a show. The Godbud's actually doing something? That guy? Yes, unfortunately LCC has her own business to take care of today, so I won't be accompanying the LCB this time, and the Red Gaze will be helping us out to get it done. Making Miffy there. Boom boom. Maybe it's not that unfortunate now that I think about it. I feel like every mission with the LCB has always been an uphill battle to get anything done. Well, you see, back then we were... just messing with you. I'm sure we'll have another chance to work together again. Boss, we don't got much time. Wait, before you go, I think you owe us some explanation, Virgilius. I will leave the details to Miss Faust. I am quite busy. Very well. Virgilius turned around and left toward Mephistopheles with an oddly disgruntled expression. Well then, I'll see you around. Next time I'll show y'all I can carry my own weight. You know... Oh boy, the last time we met I was so darn pathetic. Pilot, competence is shown through action, not words. Cloud and Pilot gave us a light nod before following Virgilius. Please live, you two. I know. I mean, I know we're in Project Moon territory, but I feel like that's extra mean. Have them both, like, survive and come back. Only to get eaten by sweepers or something. Some sinners opened their mouths to speak, hesitated, then closed them again. We let them go without a word. Perhaps they didn't know we could say to not make this awkward. Make this an awkward farewell. Very well. Please this way. Or maybe we were just dutifully mindful of this guy who was responsible for the quality of our stay. So in the version of Dream of the Red Chamber I've been reading, the author chose to translate, or at least like adapt certain names. So the servants... Oh, ambush. Good to know. Are we something different? // That's fine. So the servants, they don't have like direct translation names, but sort of translation of the meanings, or in English, I should say. They have characters like Aroma, Skybright, Patience, Faithful. Actors and actresses, they get French names, and sort of the monks and nuns get Latin names. For the main... so mostly familiar with them, with those versions of the names, but I do know, I've been keeping track of, well, at least most of the main cast, how the names would be written. Oh, 'cause, 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 ' Well, if we're doing slash, I would like to keep this Heathcliff. Let's actually swap the order a little bit.
이제야 급행 주문이군요. 잘 들어.
의뢰로군. 의뢰로군.
And it's fine, you can explode. Oh. Oh, that's from you, sorry. I got surprised for a second. Singing voice. Deep resentment ought to be washed away. For when the far one comes, betwixt the burnt doors shall a star fall astray. Are you sure we're going the right way? I don't like the sound of these weird songs. Main streets are most likely teeming with those seeking to bring harm to the young master. We must venture an alternative path. And like you said, there weren't any skirmishes once we made it deeper into the dark alleyways. Lack of foot traffic would normally be pretty unsettling, but I guess that's what we needed at this moment. As for the song, it's a song that's become rather popular in the Backstreets in the recent months. The lyrics are pretty ominous for a popular song. It is a song that spread through word of mouth. It sings of how the decimated Kjon family... this is not the place to discuss such matters. I will share the tale in a more appropriate setting later, should we come across it. Didn't know there was a song like that. Is this the first time you've heard of it too, Honglu? He's a posh guy from a posh family. Doubt he's ever set his precious feet in the back streets. There's no wonder he's never heard anything like it. I have been to the back streets before, but Heathcliff isn't wrong. I did spend most of my time in my room. That is precisely because you were the most treasured one of them all, young master. Much like how the jade of the greatest worth is to be cherished, prized, and hidden in the deepest depths of one's coffers where none shall reach. I'm like him. Just genuinely surprised. To a lesser degree, particularly as of late. That guy used to work for the Zhao family, huh? You know him, Honglu? Young master, is there something on my face? Honglu stopped himself as though a thought flashed in his head, and then glanced quietly in my direction. Then, it's nothing. Shall we continue walking down this road? Indeed, humble as I may be, I am well versed in the roads of this area. Honglu shook his head at me as he casually changed the subject. It was as though he was trying to hide something we knew from Qingtao. Should we be suspicious of something? He is a collaborator, but only a temporary one. A degree of caution would be advisable. Given Pilot's clear and experienced naivete, we would do well to remain suspicious of this character. Faust and Otis approached me as Honglu was nodding along and chatting amicably with our guide. Well, looking back at our journey so far, I think we learned our lesson about blindly trusting every collaborator we come across. With this growing mistrust in her mind, I slowly made my distance from the guide before asking Faust the burning question. So, what was that about back there, Virgilius? Something about him going off to help them out? The consequences of his actions at Wuthering Heights. Oh. His actions were a violation of one of the more important items in his contract with the company. He is simply taking responsibility for the breach of contract. One sec, I'm getting a drink. There he is. Back in the sepia tones. I think back to the incident at the manor. It feels like such a long time ago now. Yeah, it was like a year in this world. Oh, that's kind of a bummer. You really helped us out of a pickle. Dante has such a way with words. Bummer, dude. Cowabummer, dude. What? That's what they're dragging him away for? Is there a problem, honored guests? It's nothing at all. No problem. Right, Ryoshu? I can do that one. Shut up. Marcel, can you carry Heath for a little bit? He's dead tired. It happened again. It will be done. Heathcliff cannot be used for this next fight. Heathcliff, punched in the gut by the hilt of Ryoshu's sword, fell forward onto Marcel's welcoming shoulder. Rhodia? You know the kind of person I hate the most. The kind of dull people who can't read the room. Don't you feel the same way, Dante? Yep. I nodded enthusiastically, as something seemed to imply that she wasn't really asking me a question. I don't think she was about to punch my lights out, but... Rodion and Roshu, just judge correctly this time. Classified company information must not be discussed in the presence of an outsider. Reminds me of the time he got knocked out cold for a while because he kept asking questions without raising his hands. This guy just doesn't learn, huh? You successfully pursued the secrecy of classified information without spilling blood. I applaud this policy. I did good, didn't I? I'm just not a fan of how they're treating Heathcliff like dirt now. Yeah! I was actually thinking about that, because I occasionally go back and put down notes for when I do, like, updated tier list. They were really mean in the checkup event. Like, I felt like it's a bit too mean. Especially after, like, both Kanto 6 and Kanto 7, he also, like, called everyone his family. If it's no problemo, as you see, then that is well indeed. Yet, I worry that it appears that the problem has found us anyway. I stopped and looked around, realizing that we were surrounded by a group of people wielding various weapons in their hands. What, happened to finding us a safer path? It's likely that my guidance has indeed given us a much safer path away from the more obvious skirmishes. However, to my great regret, it appears that more observant of our enemies have tracked us here. Why are you even here? What are you even here for? Isn't it your job to prevent this exact scenario? Let's leave the finger pointing for later. We're gonna have to take them all down. They must not be allowed to disseminate our current location. Exactly. Where are you slinking off to, Mr. Qingtao? I must regrettably and humbly say that my talents in war are terribly lacking, so I intend to become scarce for a moment. Yet, I have the utmost faith in the strengths of our young master and the honored guests in overcoming this adversity, so... Qingtao was already standing so far away from the front lines that he was practically hiding behind me. Faust, anything you can tell us about these enemies? No, but a consultation with the Gesellschaft seems unnecessary if we are to determine whether negotiation with them is an option. They're coming. Marceau, wake Heathcliff up and set him down. I'm using you both on my team. It will be done. Who are you, friends? Tough-looking stranger. Doesn't seem very interesting. 43. Bleed count, bleed, paralyze. Wild swipe, bleed, counter. Yeah, no passives. The dual blades are pretty cool. how about countering? I want to... I don't want to be... I want to clash with Ryosha this time. She looks so...
더 처리할 먹잇감이 있나?
I mean, in this like group of a lot of green. Looks so intense.
깔끔하게.
Aside from Dante and Dawn, who would be considered Heath close friends at this point? I want to say Ishmael because that's the 3 plushies I bought. Ishmael, Heathcliff, and Dawn. My fave trio. They must not be separated. Okay, I'm clashing. It's happening.
흑수묘 뒷박질 춤.
Oh, I can't even follow her moves. Okay, there's some back row. Just all over the place. Actually, I really need these sharp looking. Here's the clash. Let's see this. Definitely want to try her out in a focused encounter, because I don't even feel like I can properly play her without having more control.
끝났습니다. 이 사진 더 이상 얻을 정보는 없군요.
Well done. I'm glad I can at least use... Oh. Hostiles in the immediate vicinity have been eliminated. A collaborator who'd been hiding far from the battle quickly ran up to our side as soon as the fight ended. Are you unhurt, young master? I wonder if you're gonna be the one to demonstrate what happens when the sweepers arrive. Or you're gonna just leave us. Yep, I'm totally fine. Of course, our honored guest's martial skills were all exceptionally brilliant, but, young master, your light was the brightest even amongst the incandescent. This humble servant could not hold back his tears at this wondrous sight to witness such excellent martial arts from none other than the young master himself. What an unexpected surprise. But don't the children of the Jiao family undergo all kinds of strict training regimens from childhood? It was simply my assumption that young master had ceased his trainings once he departed the family. Anyways, how do you think they tracked us down anyway? How about that? It appears that we weren't exactly tracked down. Perhaps it may be that the ilk who lurk in these parts of the Backstreets recognize the young master's venerable countenance. I don't think my face is that well known. The family hierarch evaluations are nigh. Every soul living in Hongyuan must know the face of the young master who is loved by every elder of the family. It must be that they are under the assumption that you are carrying something of great value. Family hierarch, huh? Didn't Josh Jun say something about heirs back then? They all assumed wrong then. I didn't bring anything precious that the elders might be looking for. Young master, even now? I just couldn't care less about it, that's all. Besides, many of my siblings are much better fit to be the family hierarch than I am. Oh, that's... well, that is indeed a relief. A relief, is it? Ah, well, but of course! It is a highly dangerous endeavor to partake in the hierarch evaluations, but it is great relief to know the young master is not putting himself in unnecessary danger. I guess that could be a relief of sort. Sort of. Oh, now that we took them all down, there shouldn't be any more on the way, right? Right? Can we not jinx ourselves for 1 second? Oh, why are you laughing, Ryoshu? Now I'm worried. Please not concern yourselves any further. We will take a more clandestine path. I guarantee a safe and easy passage to our destination. Still have a hard time buying that. The lay of this place would constitute a perfect place to set up an ambush in most places. You claim this to be a safer path. Yet I must ask you to place your faith in this humble servant, for Hongyuan is not like most places. Fine. For now. Oda shut her eyes for a moment, out of retorts, then turned to look at Ishmael. Hey, Ishmael, you must have a pamphlet of this place handy, don't you? No way, you're actually going to read it? I mean, all I really want to learn is the lore of all these places. I would love to see the pamphlets. Why else would I ask? No, I mean, how could I not be caught off guard after almost a whole year of getting brushed off by everyone every time I plead with them to read the darn pamphlets? Like hell, did no one think to... I'll find my own intel if you're just gonna ramble on and on with your grievances. Okay, fine, here it is. Otis opened the pamphlet and began intently glaring at its texts, as though she didn't want to miss even the smallest detail of information in there. Suspicion clear on her knitted brows.
좋아. 생동감이 살아있는 좋은 공간이 됐군. 다음 먹잇감도 이런 식이었으면 좋겠어.
Please still slash. Okie dokie. We'll stick with assuming we can. Good. Good. Hi, very old man. Welcome. I think we're fine.
뒷박질 시간.
I will put Oh! Hello. I'll put Ishmael away for a minute, because she's a bit bright. That's why I like this image. Doesn't stand out as much. We were on a desperate run. All the while fighting off hordes and hordes of enemies. Why, what happened to safe and easy passage? Explain this! It appears that the young master's radiant countenance is made known. I thought we were finding a more clandestine passage. How come we're getting jumped by even more enemies? As I have said, the young master's radiant. At least try to give a little variation to your excuses. I cannot so easily say that he is being untrustful given the disjointed allegiances of the enemies attacking us. Otis played with the pamphlet in her hand, clearly frustrated but unable to establish anything concrete. For people without a clear allegiance to attack a member of the Jia family. Looks like everyone in the Backstreets has been getting pretty plucky while I was away. Back then, I couldn't even catch a glimpse of their faces. They'd all be on their hands and knees whenever we walked past. Ah, what a wonderful change. Oh, shove that wonderful change up your arse, you bloody loon. How much longer till we get there? My Kjon is near. Calm your worries. Our guide seemed oddly calmer now that he did at the beginning of this journey. Did he really get numb to all that violence that fast, or... Speaking of which, what's a Kjon? is a term commonly used to refer to taverns, inns, or equivalent places of lodging in this region. Lodging, huh? Like a hotel? It's gotta be pretty fancy then, huh? They serve like complimentary snacks and drinks like the warp train? Not sure about that, but it seems like Kjons also serve alcohol and food alongside their lodging services. Maybe we can get a meal in there. And phew, hopefully we won't be attacked there like this. Residential non-aggression taboo. Oh, that's a nice taboo, actually. Any mutual acts of violence inside a residential building is, within this particular area and floor. Okay. Ohongyeon is a taboo. A taboo. We may rest easy within then. I saw Faust's eyebrows slightly twitch, as though she had just heard the most ridiculous thing. Well, I guess I'll ask her about it later. Oh man. It's for some kind of family hierarchy or family head selection contest. Why couldn't they save all this fighting until then? Because it would be too late. Late how? Every hierarch candidate must have brought incredibly precious treasures with them. It would be nice if they believed that their own treasure is the most precious of them all, but everyone's going to try to take each other's just to be sure. I see. Just in case someone else brought something even better than their own. And might as well kill them too, for the sake of convenience. Is that how the folks in your family think? What kind of line of thinking is that? Reg's actually getting some... I feel like he's... I mean, we all say how he's kind of disappeared into the background, but I'm glad at least getting a little bit to say here. Other families didn't seem too different from mine. Damn. Deepest apologies for intruding upon this most enthralling conversation. However, we may be inviting even further trouble by dallying here. With that, the guide pulled out a watch to check the time. It will be nighttime soon. Oh, look at that. I love this sort of parallax.
좀 막지 마.
I mean, actually, I didn't check. Sharp looking, tough looking. I don't think there's anything different here. It's too bad that they did this Pierce, because I feel like this will also be a time to bring out the new Dawn. I mean, I'm still rolling with some Pierce stuff anyway, but...
깔끔하게. 부서진 홍차잎 같군요. 부서진 홍차잎 같군요.
Actually, let's... Yeah, I'll go on to the next one. Clash with that.
흑수묘.
Okay, some good heads, despite no sanity there. Here we go.
가치 없고 죽어. 더 이상 얻을 정보는 없군요.
I mean, honestly, there comes all the passives. We got talisman then?
더 이상 얻을 정보. 숨통 끊기.
There, she did. I didn't even get to use it. Does no Ryoshu count neutral, count positive? Bit of both. It depends on the skill. But generally... Oh, I have to double check it again. I checked at the beginning of the stream. Now, here we are. Is this the place? After running through alleyway after alleyway, after turning corner after corner, we finally came across the site of several small buildings tightly built next to one another. At the center of them was a building lit with red lamps, adorned with a door plate with complicated looking letters scribbled over it. I want a focused encounter so I can actually probably try out the rupture stuff. This is shoddier than I expect. Come on, Rodeo. Isn't this place a bit too trashy to house our your precious young master? That is not our building. Please look this way to see where our honored guests will be staying for the night. I knew it! I heard so much from Honglu about all the splendor, all the... Huh? We followed Qingtao's finger and arrived at a small warehouse of sorts, its exterior painted in black. That looks smaller than even Mephistopheles. Can we all even fit in there? Hey, that place looks trashy as heck, even for us, let alone your young master. This is the nearest Kjon we could afford to stay in, at least among the ones that I manage. Yet, its location in the Backstreets heavily limits the level of decency it can afford. My deepest and sincerest apologies, young master. Don't worry, we can't always sleep in decent places. Looks just fine for an overnight stay to me. You nuts? Can that thing even fit all of us in there? Much did I wish to guide the honored guests to the family mansion in the central zone. However, the time... Oh, sweeping wave. Doesn't it start at 3:13 in the morning? I feel like we've got plenty of time to get there. Exactly, don't we have more than enough time to get to the family mansion? According to the H Corp travel guide, the central area is only like an hour away from here. Has the honored guest traveled to District 8 before? Just like a different time zone? Or do they come out at different times? Well, no, this is my first time here, but... Then one must ask how the honored guest could claim to have the full understanding of a place merely by flipping through a book, when she hasn't had to contend with it in person. Innumerable, unpredictable changes await in the teeming jungle of buildings, the ever-shifting structures, the constantly changing paths, ambushes from foolish yet vicious syndicates, or even offices of the back streets. Oh! We are beset by danger from all the sides. Such bold, flippant approach to predicting the phenomenon as this place is to court death. Even a toddler must know that. And this is like Ishmael's thing, being overly prepared. One fails to disguise his utter sorrow at the inadequacy of her wisdom. Is it just me, or are we all thinking back to Ishmael back at the Great Lake? Zip it, Dante. But if the guidebook lists a path, does it not imply that it is technically possible to reach there in time? Otis suddenly took a step forward. In her hand was the H Corp travel pamphlet that Ishmael was talking about. I faith that if our executive manager would lead us in your directionally challenged stead, they would be able to lead us to our destination before night falls. Me? This does not appear to have been discussed beforehand. Very well, allow me to speak freely, without frills. My responsibility is to bring the honored guests to the central zone and to ensure the young master's safety. It is indeed technically possible to reach the family mansion before the night in the back streets commences. Technically. Yet, not even one iota of danger to the young master shall be permitted. The mission that has been so graciously bestowed upon this humble servant is not to guide the young master with haste, but to guide him with utmost safety. Oh! It is said that those engaging in strategies and plans must remain wary of losing sight of their purpose. to stubbornly forge on toward the family mansion in lieu of necessary intel to see when these mobs of assailants would end is to wrongly prioritize the journey over the destination. You. Oh, you. Wonderful. Truly impressive. You have all the qualities of someone I would trust in my life when devising a stratagem. This is the most fitting attitude for those who genuinely wish the best for those they serve. Really? You're just gonna start going along with him all of a sudden? I've misunderstood your intentions, truly. They sparked my ire by comparing some of your choice words with my very own. Yet, now my eyes have been opened to the honest loyalty that lies within your heart. This humble servant did not even imagine in his wildest dreams that there would be someone who understands the fathoms of his loyalty. It seems the young master has certainly gained an eye for allies and fellowships. This is the cause for much relief in my heart. Insert the two buff dudes shaking hands meme. Oh, this is sometimes now when we do intervals, you just get to a scene and think, I want to hear this properly voice acted. Listen to him. This one knows how to jest. They're basically best buds now, huh? And I may have lost my cool for a moment there. Anyway, this man speaks true. It is highly likely that we would be exposed to attacks of similar nature were we to continue moving at this time. She's just fully on his side now, isn't she? That's when I realized that she was looking in my direction. Exaggerated smile had all but completely faded from her face, replaced with an odd but dead serious expression. When our gazes locked, she nodded. She must be completely turned around by that guy. Is this her way of saying, so long, I'm gonna quit and go work with this guy now, thanks for everything? And as for this hotel, it is still much better than sleeping in outdoor tent barracks. We should be able to relieve ourselves of some fatigue here before moving on. Did you not earlier insist on continuing our search for a better accommodation with the greatest behemoth, Miss Otis? Yeah, whatever. We get your point. Let's go inside. Phew, my humblest self can only behold your generous acceptance of this insufficient lodging with the deepest gratitude. After all that serious talk, the man seemed oddly relieved to hear our decision as he brought his fist and palm together. Architecture of today mustn't be judged with such haste merely by an observation of the exterior. The interior may hold aught to be surprised of. Worry not. With the Rodion surrendered, wouldn't that be nice? We made our way into the building. Oh, why is there ominous music? I mean, this ain't so bad. It's clean in here. I mean, I don't know. There is something about, like, fluorescent lights. I guess that's a sort of like... Oh no, the hotel's haunted. I feel like I sort of associate it as like... Yeah, sort of like empty waiting rooms. Fluorescent lights sort of give me... Like horror liminal space vibes. But I do really like seeing the ink paintings. I love that style. This place presents a rather classical aesthetic. The landscape paintings lining the walls give off a rather sophisticated mood. And it's much more spacious inside than it looks from the outside. Did they use some kind of space expansion technology in here too? No, it seems that the building only appeared small due to the density of the structures in proximity. Well, the door is now open. Should my presence be required, I shall be in the small shed next to this building. Please, do converse freely. The man smiled awkwardly and quietly excused himself as the excitement among the sinners began to grow. Meanwhile, Honglu stood a fair distance from the guide, quietly watching his face as he left. His expression was enigmatic, as if he were gazing upon the clouds, the flowers, or even the wind. Yet there was no light in those eyes. It was as if they beheld a storm cloud, a desolate field of wilted flowers, and a howling, destructive gale. Do you suspect something, Honglu? So I decided to ask. Not yet, I don't think. Huh? Not yet? Ooh! Is she Chun? So, big brother, something fell off to you, huh? Tan-chun? Oh, yeah, okay. Chun. That's when we caught a familiar voice. Wow, Chun, it's you, and so soon too. Yeah, I told you I had a feeling we'd be seeing each other again very soon. And Wei, have you been well, young master? I'm so glad to see that you're doing well, Mr. Wei. Oh, wait, don't tell me you're staying here too, Shichun. I normally wouldn't ever set foot in a place like this, but I ran into some kind of large-scale construction on my way back to the family mansion. Had to come in through the back streets. So we weren't the only ones troubled by that random construction site. Oh, hail to thee! I was wondering, I don't think she knew the resolution that went on here. The confident look on Chichun's face was immediately replaced by that of alarm. Did she lose her memories again? Is she with you? No, Don Quixote's the same as always. But she looks like such an airhead. Young Shichun? Well, would thou accompany me to the lounge but a moment so that we may share a moment of catching up? Oh, yeah, actually, let's do that. Hold on. Yashi-chun seemed to hesitate for a moment, staring at Don Quixote after hearing that her memories were intact. We're walking right up to her. I like that idea. Shall we? Oh. I want them to have a cute friendship. Wait, why don't you go and find a room for me to stay in while I talk some things out with her? What, you wanted to do some catching up, right? Tis Manager Esquire. Loss of critical personnel may be a cause for disciplinary action, Dante. I don't think there's anything wrong with making friends, though. Looks like Shichun really likes Don Quixote if she's comfortable enough to tease her like that. It's not Don Quixote she likes. She obviously just wants Don Quixote's powers she saw back then. Would a second kindred be considered a precious gift? I mean, I feel like the shoes even be quite interesting. I mean, just the fact that Dawn drank the river and knows the location of the river. My lady, this is hardly the appropriate place for. Fine, I'll try again later. Go get some sleep. I'm heading in too. Shichun sighed with a bit of disappointment before heading into the lobby. Well, let's all head inside now. So I and the rest of the sinners followed her into the lodging. Tea time.
좋아. 생동감이 살아있는 좋은 공간이 됐고.
Oh, one of the big ones.
감도 이런 식이었으면 좋겠어.
Oh, let's actually read this. I was wondering. I think somebody in the last stream mentioned, like, what is it gonna be? Sleeper plushies, and we get sleeper juice. Used to purchase various rewards from the World Exchange menu. These fuel cylinders contain the energy source for the sweepers who cleanse the city every night in the back streets. Despite the nightly chaos, people step out each morning to pristine streets on their way to work, all thanks to the sweepers. Using their fluid fuel, they dissolve anything that doesn't belong in the city, from street litter to unauthorized structures, as they flood the streets at night. Like clockwork, they emerge from the subterranean depths beneath the city every night. I do wonder, though, just how deep do they come from? They go from hell? Like the H Corp stuff? Excerpt from an interview with an LCCB employee. Okay, where are we? Okay, yeah, maybe we'll do... Oh, I'll take that. One more. Suspicion. I really like Shichun. I'm happy we get to see her sooner rather than later. Everyone was busy looking around and commenting on various things in our lodging, but Sinclair appeared to be the most anxious of them all. Sinclair? Something in her stands out. Like, imagine an ideal picture. Did you call? Oh, I missed that joke, Kjon. Yeah, we haven't had that for a bit. That's not what I would. I'm not. Anyway, am I the only one who feels like something stands out like a sore thumb from the whole picture? Oh, yeah. When did that come? When did that show up? Oh, yeah. Glad you brought it up. I didn't say anything because I thought it was just me. But yeah. So, what's so off about this place? Isn't it obvious? Where'd all that complimentary snacks go? What's that weird mystery table at the center of the room? Oh, there's like a... It is a low-quality little umbrella. That is kind of weird, though. What's that table doing there? Oh... Oh, okay, they're both meant to be saying the different things. Its saturated colors are quite a pleasant sight to behold. So, is it any better in... What the heck is that hideous table? Doesn't look that bad, does it? There's a teapot. I like teapots. The kerfuffle sparked by a particularly unsightly piece of indoor furniture calmed somewhat once everyone made it inside the building. Of course, no one was able to discern the real purpose of that table yet. Every step on the floor leaves black residue on the shoes. That's kind of important. Not only the floor, touching the walls leaves an unidentified black substance on one's fingers. Not to mention how the walls ripple in an odd fashion. What could possibly be the construction of this structure? Well, my guess is that the maintenance staff's been slacking. Maybe, but why is everyone so neatly organized if that's the case? I've been to enough seedy establishments to tell you this place has been gone a while without a tidy up. The entire hotel is made of mold, you know. Wait, is this the monster house from the hit Halloween movie, Monster House? I mean, I love the... I haven't actually seen Monster House, but I love the gift of the guy grabbing the thing to eat and just running out the door. At least it appears that each room is furnished with a bed. While this is far from optimal, Executive Manager, we may be able to rest here. Huh. I guess they really didn't have the time to clean up. Dashi-chan, the last person to walk in after having taken her time to examine the area outside the lobby, stared blankly around the room with an aghast expression. I like being able to see the city. I'm not even sure what to say to this ridiculous negligence. Then found her room after leaving a scathing remark. Here's your fun fact that I don't think is really spoilers. Kjon's thing in the book is she's good at painting. Balyu and some of the other siblings and people around, they're all good at the poetry, but Kjon's thing is painting. It ain't the first time we're sauntering right into some shady business, in it. Let's just cross that bridge when we come to it, yeah? I can't believe Mav just watched something in secret with the ring. I hope not. I mean, I have my own thoughts on how things are gonna go, but I don't think that's... No, she's really slow with her art. That's one of the things she gets. Grandma asks her to paint a painting of the garden, actually, and she takes forever. But it's not like a huge point. Her stuff comes later. I guess anyone could tell that there was something definitely wrong about that guy. I guess I should say I'm not going to talk about big Dream of the Red Chamber spoilers here. Some sinners, including Heathcliff, already slumped to the floor, vociferously expressing their desire to rest with a collective sigh of exhaustion. Well, it is pretty weird, but at least we have a roof over our heads. I've been wondering if the thing about residential areas... No, I mean... Was it no fighting in residential areas? Might have been a lie or something, because that's why Faust was... Maybe does this not count as a residential area somehow? Is that what Faust was noticing? In that case, Dante, perhaps this may be a good time to announce today's close of business. I've never made this announcement outside the bus before. Oh, right. I hereby confirm today's close of business for the sinners. Understood. Thank you kindly. Starting now, you'll all be given a maximum of 12 hours to partake in sleep and rest. The duration is subject to change. Have a good night. As soon as she finished, the sinners each began to relax in their own ways, some stumbling into their rooms while others lingered to speculate over the bizarre table at the center of the room. Save for Otis, that is. Got something to say, Otis? Yes, Executive Manager. It's about our guide, Jingtao. Oh, your new best friend from earlier? Seemed like you guys were getting along pretty well. What? That is simply untrue. Did you not see the signal I gave you earlier? I really want to hear Otis's voice here. What signal? Oh, you mean when you nodded slightly in my direction? She wiggled. Vibrating. Indeed, that individual has an informational advantage over us when it comes to this locale. Regardless of how sound the accusations we came up with were, he would not have been able to explain them away using his familiarity with the region. I thought, as the party with an informational disadvantage, it would be wise to feign camaraderie and friendship with that individual and go along with their plans while trying to dig out as much intel as possible. I seriously thought that suspicious guy totally won you over. Executive Manager, I've been in this business for many years. How could you even imagine that I would be fooled by an amateur spy who's so overtly It's nothing. Otis's disappointment was palpable, but she stopped herself as though she remembered that there were more important matters at hand. Well, it is uncertain as to how long that individual will be accompanying us. It would be reasonable to speculate that he approached the LCCB with the explicit purpose of eliminating Honglu Baoyu. I present the fact that it was Pilot, that inexperienced greenhorn, who somehow conveniently came up with this connection, as another evidence supporting this suspicion. That's also true? House also has information to share. House joined the conversation after listening to us discuss for some time. A review of every known taboo has failed to identify one he called... residential... A review of every known taboo has failed to identify one he called residential non-aggression taboo that universally prohibits acts of violence within residential areas. And that also has to be... It is too early to come to conclusions regarding that matter. It appears that this area, Hongyuan, has taboos that change depending on your location within its territory. However, considering every other circumstantial evidence, we can come to a conclusion that he was most likely lying to us. Your assessment cannot be denied. In that case, we must already be deep within the enemy's machinations. The constant stream of random assailants we faced earlier was also most likely part of their plan. It may very well be that this building is itself is also a trap. It is Monster House. Yet we lack the intelligence about this particular Backstreets to be certain. However, we do have one minor advantage. It seems that they have severely underestimated our capabilities, given the low caliber of the assailants they decided to send after us. One thing we can capitalize on is that mutual lack of intel. Keep our guard up, remain alert, and we should be able to navigate our way out of this trap, Executive Manager. Okay, I get it now. I'm sorry about the misunderstanding. Honestly, I didn't know who or what to trust. Then I would appreciate if you could trust me fully next time. Otis bowed politely and returned to her room. Faust and I chatted a little more about Qingtao and his plans, but our discussion ended without bearing much fruit. It's very interesting, I mean, knowing the... We're jumping into... witnessing. It's interesting coming into this... Oh! I like that bell. Hello. I see you over there. Like, knowing that this is the sleeper event, so we're spending this whole time, like, how's that gonna happen? How are they gonna end up outside? I mean, there's all sorts of ways. It doesn't even have to be any sort of trick, but... Look at this. You know, witnessing. We have it already. Is the hotel actually made out of sweeper? I mean... Okay, we can't see it here. I mean, really... I really like that little bell sound. Or like, I guess it's more of a chime. This hotel actually made us sweepers. The fuel can mention unauthorized constructions not being safe. There's not enough to make conclusions, I would say. I want to know. You'll probably be like your own NPC, so I'm curious. I know I got, forgot if I mentioned. I know I got her, but I didn't actually read the story just in case there were hints towards something or anything. I do like to save those. They don't tend to be, but... spoilery, but... just in case. So that's half of the event. I don't know if there's a dungeon, and always the latter half tends to be longer, but I'm gonna finish up here because it's a bit late and my voice doesn't last when I have to deal with the voice acting. I hope everybody's... Oh, do I actually get to see... Yes! Oh, wow! That is a brick. Yeah, sometimes they do have event details. They don't tend to be like spoiling events, I don't think, but look at that. What a good... Oh, I like thoughts, but I don't want to, at this point I'm not gonna go into... I'm gonna have to think about how I want to handle like book spoilers. I won't do any here. I mean, you know, I'm gonna do a stream about the book itself. Like a introduction stream, I've called it, so that won't be like endgame spoilers, we'll see, but... if during Canto 8 itself, how deep I'm gonna go. Oh, hi Butters, good morning, I'm just about to finish up. I haven't made the next... I'm still waiting to hear about a meeting for tomorrow, but I'll probably do it at the stream will probably be at my more regular time, if that's okay. And I'll try and either people will have Otis to borrow, or maybe I'll do a mirror dungeon or two tonight and tomorrow so I can get her myself. But anyway, everybody, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the event, and I will see you very soon. This is always hard, but leaving it for a bit, but I'm super excited. But again, hope you're all doing well, and I will see you quite soon. Bye-bye.